First and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Warakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth. To the rest of the church who believe as well, you men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters also. The water, which means thank you to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the world of Israel and the world of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 54 and 16 to start this lesson off. And it reads, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So the smith in this case, or being the weaponsmith, would be Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer and a group of other German scientists came up with the atomic bomb because they found out how to split the atom. Now we're at a point where there's a nuclear bomb because they found out how to split the nucleus, okay? And just as the atomic bomb was used, the nuclear bomb is going to be used. Now, they try to justify using the atomic bomb when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. So America took it upon themselves, being under President Truman, to take revenge by dropping the atomic bomb over Hiroshima, which killed about 145,000 people. So as destructive as that was, now we have nuclear missiles that are even far more devastating, far more destructive. Now that came from the Heavenly Father, okay? And he used man to bring it forth. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. So these weapons that have been formed are not for the Lord's elect. These weapons have been created for judgment, but not for the Lord's elect. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me. So as I've stated, just as they've used the atomic bomb, they're going to use those nuclear missiles. Okay, and it's going to be far, far, far more destructive. Okay, but everything has to happen in its season. Revelations chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw four angels. Now the four angels represents Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Michael, Uriel, Raphael. Oh, man. It escapes me right now. It's Michael, Uriel, Raphael. See, that's crazy how Satan just took that from me like that. Gabriel. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. Okay? And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth. The four corners goes into north, south, east, and west, holding the four winds, being those nuclear missiles are going to come from every angle when they come to America. Of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Now, the sea and the tree represents people. Okay? First, let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 17. And verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore, being America, sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So water can represent people. Okay? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these all shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, the 10 horns goes into EU. The beast is NATO. There's going to come a point in the future where EU and NATO are going to turn on America and burn her with fire. Okay? But the point being, the water represents people. Now let's go further into that in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 17 and verse 12. Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. So again, this is showing how people are likened unto water. Okay, so let's go back to Revelations chapter 7 and 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, being people, nor on any tree, which also represents people. Now let's show you that tree also represents people in the book of Mark. I believe it's Mark chapter 8 and 23 and 24. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. So metaphorically, we're likened unto trees. Your fingers are limbs. Your toes are limbs. Your arms are limbs. Your legs are limbs. We have limbs just like trees. You produce either good or bad fruit. Okay? So people are likened unto trees, and people are also likened unto water. Okay? And I saw another angel, being the 5th angel, ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So those nuclear missiles cannot be sent off until the elect have been sealed. So anyone saying, oh, the elect sealed, you can't really say that, because them nuclear missiles have not been sent off. When them missiles get sent off, it's already guaranteed all the Lord's elect have been sealed. No one else is coming in. Okay, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now this is going into the elite of the nation of Israel. But there's also going to be a great multitude who are also going to be saved. Okay? Now when them missiles come, them chariots are going to come right along with them. All right? So now what I'll do, I want to touch on the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 8. Was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers, being the people? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon the horses, and thy chariots of salvation? So the Lord is coming to bring death, destruction, he's coming to bring deliverance, death, and destruction. Deliverance to the elect, death and destruction to everyone else. Thy bow was made quite naked, being no silos, according to the oaths of the tribes, because the Lord is coming to fend for the Israelites. Them nuclear missiles are going to be used for the vengeance of the Lord's people. Even the word, Salah, thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. Okay? The mountains saw thee, and I believe rivers here, this goes into actual water. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers, or divided the earth with water. Thy mountains saw thee, and they trembled. Now mountains goes into governments, or it can go into power, those who are in the power seat. Now let's hold this. Let's go into the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 65 and verse 5. By terrible things and righteousness wilt thou answer us, O God of our salvation, who art the confidence of all the ends of the earth, and of them that are afar off upon the sea, which by his strength setteth fast the mountains, being girded with power. So mountains can represent power. Which stilleth the noise of the seas, the noise of their waves, and the tumult of the people. Also showing again that people and water can be synonymous in the scriptures. Mountains, which is what I'm going into, that goes into power. Okay? So going back to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 10. The mountains, or the elite, the ruling governors of this world, those who are in power, the mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. So when Yahweh Shai comes with a host of angels, it's going to be a terrible day. But the elect are going to lift up their hands, man. And they're going to give glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai while also being in fear. Okay, that's why it says the deep uttered his voice, being the sea of people, being of the elect, and lifted up his hands on high. Now let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8. I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. So when the Lord returns with them angels and as the missiles are coming, we're going to be lifting up our hands, giving glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So Habakkuk 3 and 10, the mountains saw thee and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice, lifting up his hands on high. Kahala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, we're going to be giving reverence, hoping to be delivered. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows, being those nuclear missiles zipping from one side of the earth to the other, they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land in indignation, thou did thresh the heathen in anger, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. So as the missiles are coming, them chariots are going to zip over here and deliver the elect first, before the missiles even touch down. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked, so the elite of the wicked are going to be brought down. You know, the Rothschilds on down, by discovering the foundation unto the neck, Salah. So when the missiles come, them chariots are also going to zip right over here to deliver the Lord's elect. Okay? Let's go to Micah chapter 4 and verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, being the Israelites, like a woman in travail, a woman who's having birth pains. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. And thou shalt go even to Babylon, being here in North America. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. So when the missiles come, salvation is going to simultaneously come with it. And the elect are going to be taken right up before the missiles even touch ground here in America. Okay? So there's going to be a great deliverance here in America. Jeremiah chapter 3 and 18. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel. Here in America, all the 12 tribes are here. But this isn't the only deliverance. There's going to be a great deliverance. The elect all throughout the earth, wherever they may be, the Lord is going to deliver them too. But right now, I'm specifying about those here in America. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north, being North America, to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. So we're going to be delivered out of America. So when the missiles get sent off, Yahweh Shai is going to invade America right at the same time. Okay? So now let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt being America. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, being a huge spaceship, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So Yahweh Shai is going to invade America right as them nuclear missiles are coming. His ship is going to be so big, every eye here in America is going to see him. Because when he invades North America, when he comes into modern day Egypt, people are going to mourn. They're going to be in total fear. Revelations chapter 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. So he's not coming alone. He's coming with the host of angels. And every eye shall see him. So when he comes into Egypt, every eye is going to see him. And they also which pierced him. Those Romans who were back then are back here today. Those who pierced him. Those who crucified him. Those who made him drink piss. Okay? Those who mocked him. They're back here today. And all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So when he returns, when he invades America, Every eye is going to see him. Now, when Yahweh Shai comes and invades America, he's going to send other angels throughout the earth to gather the elect outside of America as well. Okay? So when you go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 31, it says this: "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, being north, south, east, and west, from the end of heaven to the other." So wherever the elect are, they're going to be gathered. But Yahweh Shai himself, he's going to invade Babylon specifically, while he'll send other angels throughout other parts of the earth to get the elect. Okay? And they're going to be delivered from wherever countries they're at as well. Okay? "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds." So this isn't just here in America. There's going to be a great deliverance all throughout earth, from one end of heaven to the other. Let's go to Jeremiah. Chapter 23 and verse 3. "And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whether I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase." So no matter where the elect are, they're going to be gathered. Verse 8. "But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country," being America, "and from all countries, whether I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land." So there's going to be a great deliverance here in America and other parts of the earth. But Yahweh Shai specifically is going to invade America. Okay? And he's going to send other angels to gather his elect. Okay? But once we're all gathered, we're going to be brought back together to Yahweh Shai as like a carrier ship. Now, this is Isaiah chapter 11 and 11. "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time." So the first deliverance is going to come when Yahweh Shai invades America. The second time is going to be when the angels are sent out to gather the elect in other countries. Okay? "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea." So the elect are going to be gathered wherever they may be. And then once all the elect are gathered from these other countries, they're going to be brought back to Yahweh Shai, because he's going to be the one with that carrier ship, so to speak. Let's go to Revelations. Revelations chapter 21 and verse 2. "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, being us with our new bodies, coming down from God, being us coming down from Yahweh Shai's chariot, out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband," because we're going to be joined together with him forever. Verse 10. "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God." So all the elect are going to descend out of one chariot. That chariot being Yahweh Shai's chariot, because he's going to be the one with the carrier ship. The other angels are going to zip, grab the elect, and they're all going to be brought to Yahweh Shai, while Yahweh Shai himself is going to be directly over Babylon. Okay? Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. Chapter 4 and 16. "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel being Michael, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first." So anyone who's been in this truth who may have passed away, they'll be the first on the chariot. "Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds." So there's going to be a multitude of chariots going around to deliver the elect, to meet the Lord in the air. And it says to meet the Lord in the air. So all the elect that have been gathered in these other chariots, being these other angels, they're eventually going to be brought back to the Lord's chariot in the air, being that carrier ship. "And so we shall ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." So yeah, there's going to be a great deliverance coming here to America. The elect are going to be gathered wherever they may be. No one's going to be left out who's of the Lord's sheep. Okay? All the elect are going to be saved, period. But I'm going to close it with this. Psalms chapter 34 and 17. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. And that ultimate deliverance is going to be when we're taken up. The Lord Yahweh is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Okay? So we go through our afflictions, we go through our vexations, but these things help us feel lowly of mind, keeps us humble. The Lord likes us humble, man. Okay? Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Not some, but all. And we have to consider that. No matter what we're faced with, no matter how uncomfortable it is, somehow, some way, we come out on top. And how is that somehow, some way? Well, it's the Heavenly Father through his only begotten Son, of course. He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Even evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. And them nuclear missiles are going to leave many desolate here in Babylon. The Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. So none of the Lord's elect are going to be left here and to fend for themselves with no help. The Lord is going to deliver all his elect, wherever they may be. Okay? So when the elect are sealed and the missiles come, salvation comes right along with it. And none of the elect are going to be left behind. Okay? Now we do understand there are going to be those that are going to be left behind, so to speak. But see, it's not a left behind like people in the world think. Okay? It's a left behind as in, if you're not up in the chariot, you're going to be left here to be melted. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 22 and verse 20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. So anyone who's not of the elect, if you're here in Babylon, when the missiles come, you are going to be left here and you are going to melt in what's known as the lake of fire. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, the Lord Yahweh, have poured out my fury upon you. So all the Lord's elect are going to be delivered. But anyone who's not the Lord's elect, wherever the missiles get sent off, and if you're still there, you're going to be left behind and melted. Okay? Salvation is for the elect of Israel, man. And then the remaining Israelites that don't make it, they'll come through the loins of the elect at a later time whenever the Lord decides they come back. Because there's a multitude of spirits that are in the spirit world that aren't even walking the earth right now. Okay? But I pray that this lesson that was simple and edifying, all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wa Rakakwadash, Shalom.